Welcome to the Wealth Blend, formerly known as Weekly Financial News with Cross Shield Financial. We've rebranded to bring you the latest in financial trends and a new perspective. Each week, we dive into trending topics, share expert insights, and explore strategies to keep you ahead of the game. So grab your coffee, settle in, and get ready for fun conversations and engaging discussions. And don't forget our mascot Zoodles, who always has something to add to spice things up. So pour yourself a cup of your favorite brew and let's blend some wealth together. Hello, everybody. I'm Sky, the brand manager here at Cross Shield Financial, and we have some other amazing team members joining us. Next to me, we've got Stephanie Volkamer, our operations manager. Hi, Stephanie. How are you this morning?
I'm doing well. How are you doing, Sky?
I'm doing great. And we also have some other amazing team members with us today. We've got our senior financial coach, Amanda Hirschberger.
Hi, everybody. Hi.
Hello.
And then last but not least, we have the amazing Rudy Upshaw, our CEO and founder, as well as Zoodles, of course.
Hey, everybody.
Hello.
Good to see you guys. Great to
Hello.
be here. We got some great things to talk about today. So excited.
Yes.
It's going to be so much fun. Awesome. Well, listeners, welcome. As Sky said, my name is Stephanie, and I'm the operations manager here. And we're going to just kind of dive right in because this first article, I honestly was really intrigued by it, and I wanted to change how old I was so I could do it. But it is students and young adults can book $25 holiday flights with Amazon Prime. And it's basically saying that if you have Prime, Amazon has partnered with Student Universe, an online travel agency, and to offer Prime young adult members and Prime student members a limited number of $25 flights to and from home this holiday season, which is very cool. We always love that. And so basically, this promotion is running from December 9th through the 13th with a total of $5,025 flight tickets up for grabs across the next 5 days. And there will be 1,000 tickets made available each day starting at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and ending at 11 p.m. Pacific Standard. So I saw that and I was like, that is a brilliant idea to make sure that, hey, you're a college student, you're cross country, that you get to actually go home and see your parents for Christmas and, take all your laundry and have that, washed and stuff.
Yeah.
Not speaking like that actually happened to me, but
Bring those
Eat
bed
food.
sheets. Bring those
Oh,
bed
yeah.
sheets too.
Bed sheets.
Yeah.
Eat
all
free
of
food
it.
out of their pantry.
Exactly. Take an extra bag so you can do that. So,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
but Amanda, what are your thoughts on this?
I think it's phenomenal. I think it's a great thing that students can come home for the holidays. Maybe even some that wouldn't be able to afford it normally are
Mhm.
now able to afford it because even when you think of flying, we talk to our clients about this all the time. They're like, "Oh, I just bought the flight. I already bought that, so there's no other cost." And I'm like, "Oh, God bless." I'm like, "There's also parking. There's
Yeah.
also if you don't have somebody designated to bring you over there, there's parking, and then you've also
Mhm.
got meals there if you have a layover."
Mhm.
There's meals and there's lots of different things that are involved in this, and the cost can just keep climbing and climbing and climbing.
Yeah.
And so having this available for students, that's wonderful. I think it's great. I just always say make sure that you're also budgeting all those other things too.
Yeah.
And so
Mhm.
because it's not just the one thing. They're like, "Oh, it's just the one thing and I'll be fine." It's the same thing, when we talk about budgeting for the holidays. I'm like, there's all these other things. If you have a pet, somebody's got to watch the pet.
Yep.
If you have there's all these things you need to consider when traveling. But I'm still super excited that this would definitely help and make it more affordable for these students. So I'm really happy
Yeah.
for them. That's wonderful.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I know I read that. I was like, "Ooh, you have to be under 26." Well, I could totally take some years off so I can go somewhere for the
You could
holidays.
pass. You could pass.
Yeah.
Right.
Why not?
But also
But
make sure your driver's license is the valid
I'll
driver's
just
license as
I'll
well.
just bring an extra Chick-fil-A sandwich or something, bribe the guard. It'll be fine.
There you go.
Awesome. So, Rudy, did you have any thoughts about the $25 flight?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, I did. Okay. So,
I'm excited.
did you guys go in and kind of look at the page from the article that talked about this student universe from Amazon? There's a link in there that says, I'm sorry, Prime Young Adult. Prime Young
Mhm.
Adult, and then it actually takes you over to look at the Amazon, this the promo page, right?
Mhm.
So you got the promo page, and I'm looking at the promo, and oh my gosh, it just jumps out at you. And there's like all these deals and specials, and whoa,
Oh
I'm
my
like freaking
goodness.
out. I'm like so excited because I'm an 18 to 25-year-old, and man, someone loves me so much. It's so fun. Hey, but seriously, so I went into the terms,
Mhm.
and when you go into the terms,
Oh my
there's a
goodness.
whole lot more details in the terms.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
And
boy.
and within the terms, this is really, really so when you find the terms inside that main page, it's got all the sparklies, blues, and the greens and all that. It's kind of hard to find where the little terms are. It's kind of hidden in that blue box, and then you click on it and it opens up another terms deal. At the very bottom of that terms, there down it's the very last word. See complete terms and conditions
It's
here.
here.
Mm.
Oh.
So when you get to click on
Oh
that,
man.
then it talks a little bit more about the program. So um on the face of it, I think it's fantastic. Okay.
Mhm.
When we're talking about financial things, tools, cards, debit cards, preferably no debt. We want to have just a little bit of time. And again, I don't want to be super nerdy about these things, but I've been doing this long enough to where there are these little things that are in there that if you don't really understand it on the face, it looks super great and exciting. It could get you into a little bit of trouble down the road.
Mhm.
This also is a segue in when you look at the terms and the additional terms, it's a segue to open you up for some credit card account promotions that you're going to get being part of the student universe. And
Mhm.
students, when you're young, you probably don't have that perspective, but those of us that have the wounds and the scars of stupid money decisions we made in the past, we kind of remember back to those things. So I just say be cautious, be careful. Just because it's flashy and it's marketing and it's sounds really good, and it very well may be if we're disciplined, if we kind of
Hmm.
understand these things and we're prepared. It could also kind of get it could this student universe could be the gateway drug to getting yourself into trouble with a bunch of debt. That's all I'm saying. So not to be super negative, I think it's great. I think it's super cool. We just want to go into it with just really knowing really what we're doing. And listen, that's what marketing does. Marketing attracts people to certain things, and we just want to be smart and intelligent and be in control of our money. So those are my thoughts.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a really good point.
I just read over those terms while you were saying this,
Mhm.
and I was like, goodness, yes, being an informed buyer is so important. I said
Mhm.
there's a $75 cancellation fee.
Yep.
There's a $250 fee to make any changes or amendments to the booking.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And two, think about this, everyone, for the audience that's listening to this. When I was 18 years old, I didn't know what I was doing, and
Right.
I was fresh meat for
Mhm.
marketings, for things, just because I hadn't had maybe enough experiences, and I also didn't have some financial education from my family to help me think about things. I was a sitting duck, and
Mhm.
I got sucked into stuff, and I bought things. That's why listen, that is why this is so heavily marketed to this age group, because this is very much engineered. The analytics and the data knows that this age group doesn't have the knowledge, but they're adults. So guess what? Mom and dad
Mhm.
say a thing and don't have to give guidance. The 18-year-old just gonna say, "Yeah, I want to check that out, and I want to be able to fly home," and all of a sudden,
Mhm.
all these other things that can be much more negative than a positive. So,
Hmm.
anyway, fantastic article. I'm glad we're talking about this,
Yeah.
um, because this is just one little thing, and there's a gazillion of potential traps out there that could
Mhm.
cause us to get further and further away from the goals that we want to achieve. So, if you have any questions about these type of things or this particular Amazon, man, please feel free to reach out to us at Cross Shield. Amanda and I would love to have a conversation and help you navigate that.
Yeah. So, and also, guys, even if you're just using regular airlines, always look at if you can get refunded. If your plane like all of a sudden freezes over or something like that, make sure that you can get refunded for the full ticket because I've had it happen where it hasn't. So pay a little bit extra for getting a full refund on your ticket instead of not getting all of it. But let's go ahead and jump over to the article number 2, which is the US economy added just 12,000 jobs in October, which was impacted by the hurricanes and the Boeing strike. And so this was a really interesting article where it's off of CNBC and it's by Jeff Cox. And basically is talking about how non-farm payrolls increased by 12,000 for the month, down sharply from September and below the Dow Jones estimate for 100,000. The unemployment rate is held at 4.1. And the BLS noted that the Boeing strike likely subtracted 44,000 jobs in the manufacturing sector, while hurricanes also held back the total. And then he basically goes on to talk about really the job creation has slowed to its weakest point in October. And so I'd love to get Amanda, your thoughts on this, especially with like the Boeing strike and everything like that. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's a pretty heavy hit. Boeing's a massive company that employs so many people. And so one strike like that can grossly impact these numbers. And so, we have to keep that in mind, that this one particular thing is causing those numbers to skew. Like, that's quite a bit of people being employed that it causes that skew. And so, it's just really, really interesting. I mean, I keep reading and there's just more info and more info and more info.
yeah.
And so it also doesn't help that it was an election year. People just get kind of squirrely around an election year. I mean, like, especially right before the election, like, businesses, everybody, like, the best way to describe it is squirrely. And like, it's just unease, because of uncertainty. It's just human nature. I see it every time when I see the analysis of, accounting, like when I watch the accounting for business on those sides. And so it's really, really interesting to see that. And it looks like Rudy also has another article here that that sort of is a sister article to that. But there was also, it looks like the U.S. economy added 227,000 jobs in November.
And that's at the end of November. The article that we're referencing was from the 1st of November, so it's November data. That 12,000 was just added.
Right.
Yeah, we had a huge jump in
We did.
November.
We had a
227,000 added
massive
in the month of November. And that article that I put in the chat, there's a pretty strong correlation with the election effect related to that. So 12,000 for the month of October, 220,000 for the month of November. So there's a tremendous amount of optimism, not just in the economy, but also in the labor market specifically. These are non-farm payroll jobs that were added.
Yeah.
So
which is
I
incredible.
want to talk about that just a little bit for our audience. So when I was reviewing the economic data that got published early this morning, again, a lot of discussion about optimism, a lot of discussion about the markets, how they're responding to the election and Trump winning the White House. I also thought through that a little bit and want to really caution the audience to some degree. There's going to be great optimism for a while. This is the perfect time. If you were ever in a place where you thought, you know what, I really, really need and want to take control back of my money, and I really want to start doing things with my finances to take advantage of this wave that we are experiencing right now, and it's going to just continue. This is that time, 100%. Please do not delay. Contact a financial coach, get your budget in order, get those emergency funds lined out. This is the perfect time financially to do all of those things. So I just want to mention that. Huge, huge number for us. Month over month, 12,000 added, 12,000 non-farm payroll jobs added in October, 227,000 non-farm payroll jobs added in the month of November. And typically we don't see that. I mean, we're talking November. So a lot of businesses, especially on the, the labor manufacturing side, they are slowing down. They are not having these huge increases. I mean, the percentage increase from 12,000 one month to 227,000 the next month, that is historic. So I just encourage you on it. Please, 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 be very intentional. Take steps right now, today. Reach out to us. We would love to have a conversation to help you do that very, very quickly. So,
Yeah, no, I agree. It's, I've had many conversations with people. They were struggling to find jobs in October, and I completely understood that because of what was going on. But, this is the time to ride the wave and to definitely jump on board and find those jobs, even if it's a job that's an in between job for a while until it gets you to the job that you want. And, it maybe even puts you in connections with certain people in the same company, and so that you can transition into a different position within that company. They're more likely to hire from within than from outside the company. And so I was just having a conversation with that about somebody last night. And they were going to school for IT and they worked in a different department. I said, great. Now you are already in. They're most likely going to want to hire you because of the cost of hiring someone. It's very expensive. And so, but if they have already hired you, that's going to save them so much cost. And so there's so many different strategies you can do here and take advantage of here, depending on whichever situation you're in. So definitely let us know, because each situation is going to be unique. Each person's, life is going to be unique. So the advice we offer is going to differ based on that. And so, but this is definitely something to take advantage of. And it's very, very exciting. And so, like Rudy said, this does not happen often. Usually end of year, things are quieting down. There's not a whole lot of expenditures going on, especially not in hiring, because it's one of the highest costs of a company.
Yeah.
And so, very, very cool and very exciting. So, time to start looking.
Woohoo! Let's do it. Let's go.
Absolutely. All right. And then we have this last article, which, Amanda, I know for a fact you have some thoughts on this, but I'm going to introduce the article first, and then I'm going to let you just go and do your Amanda thing. But
Right.
basically, this article is Venmo and CashApp to send tax forms to many new sellers in 2025. And so what this is regarding is there was a bill passed in 2022, I believe, 2021, so sorry, that expanded the scope of who gets the 1099-K forms. So taxpayers with more than $600 in gross payments. And it was set to take effect for 2022. But the IRS did push back the effective date multiple times and then created a $5,000 requirement for 2025 as companies and taxpayers brace for the transition. So these are small businesses, these are Etsy shops, these are people who use Venmo, like door dashing and that sort of stuff. So these are basically your middle class Americans who are just trying to make a couple extra dollars to make ends meet. And they're going to have to pretty much have, if they've had anything of 5,000 or between 600 and 5,000 is my understanding, they'll have to do this form. And so, Amanda, I would love your input on this one because
Yeah.
to me, I
Amanda,
was like,
help us on this article, please.
Yeah, so it's definitely a tax heavy question, and it's understandable. Taxes, you hear the word taxes and it's like, scary. And so this rule has constantly been sort of pushed. They were like, okay, guys, y'all need to have this ready by this year. And then companies are like, oh no, we need more time. Can you push it off to next year? And then, like they keep begging for more time. And so that's why this rule has sort of been pushed and pushed and pushed over the last few years. So we'll see if this holds. I don't know. I'd love to say, sure, it's going to absolutely hold, but I don't know for sure because, like I said, they keep pushing it. So this is an issue that I would consistently look at and not just look at news articles. There's this awesome site called irs.gov. It's 6 letters and it's the IRS website. That is going to be your most sure source for things like this. It's going to give you the most accurate info on what's actually happening here and if the rules actually change. And so, but what this actually means is that, people that earn their money. So in general, when you're earning money outside of a normal job, when you're working for yourself and you're not going to get what you get at the end of the year with a regular job, which is a W-2, you're technically working as a contractor, which is considered 1099 income. And so, or business income. So if you do receive, if you're working for a company, if you make over $600 with them as a contractor, they are required to issue you a 1099 NEC. It's called non-employee compensation. And so why do they do that? Well, why are they taxing me? Well, you're taxed on your W-2. You're going to have to pay the taxes here on your return. if you haven't been making payments throughout the year. So it's self-employment taxes. And so any income that you make outside of a W-2 job, you should be claiming as income on your tax return. And a lot of people have been getting away with not claiming this income because they're using things like Cash App and Venmo. And this is Zelle is not included in this. Zelle is done through bank. It's a different system. This is not Zelle. This is Cash App, Venmo, those sort of things. And people have been making income off of them and not claiming them on their taxes. And that's why they're trying to capture this and make sure that people are actually claiming the income that they're supposed to and filing their taxes correctly.
So, Amanda, let me ask you a question real quick. So, if someone's in a situation where they are making income and someone who is receiving those services is paying them through Cash App or Venmo, what is, as a financial coach, and you've been doing this a long time, what is your recommendation to those people that are receiving income through PayPal or Venmo? And yeah, go ahead.
I mean, either way, they're going to have to claim this as income. So all that Cash App and Venmo are going to do they're going, by the time they reach whatever threshold they're going to set, finally, then they're going to be issued a 1099K. So instead of getting that 1099 NEC form like we're talking about, you're going to get a 1099K. So you need to make sure that those people are not also going to send you a 1099 NEC. So you're not going to get double counted for on your income. And so it kind of muddies the water a little bit. It's going to get complicated. It's going to get messy. Guess what? I'm going to get a ton of phone calls on this, both from businesses, individuals, everybody. Please hit me up. I'd love to talk to you. I'd love to have a consultation because there is zero chance that I can explain this in an understandable way in this very short amount of time. I would love to, but it gets complicated and hairy really quickly. And so I don't want you to get double booked on income. I don't want you, I want things to run smoothly for you. If you're just like, I don't even want to mess with that stuff, I'm just going to do it a different way. Awesome. There are alternatives, and I'd love to talk to you about those and ways to manage your money well so that, is this side hustle really making me money? Is it, is it something that I should be pursuing? Should I make it bigger? Should I make, there's lots of questions there. And that's what we're here for as financial coaches. So I'd love to have those discussions with you because this is what if you can't tell, I'm starting to talk faster and faster because I get really, really excited about this. It's
just a quick side question. So
yeah.
If I'm a contractor and that means that I'm not an employee, that means that I don't receive what's called a W-2 form, meaning that it shows all of my pay, but my employer holds taxes out for me. If I'm not doing that, and let's say I haven't done that all this year, where do I start? What do I do, Amanda?
Okay, so the first thing I highly recommend is getting in touch. We would love to have a conversation. I'd love to have a conversation with you. But if you already have a CPA, awesome. Quick phone call right away. Call them before tax season gets crazy because it's about to. And this is the perfect time to call them. They're not super busy right now. And so before January, because you still have an opportunity if you do owe, because you might have enough W-2, you might be claiming too much income, too much federal taxes getting taken out on your W-2 income. But your CPA is going to know that really, really well. And so, and you can submit your last pay stub and tell them what you've earned so far in your business and just a rough idea of your expenses so far. And they'll be able to tell you, okay, you still have time to make a payment. I suggest making X payment by January 31st of 2025 to avoid penalties. So this is really, really going to help you with a lot of penalties you could possibly incur in April if you're one of those late bloomers that decide to file in April, or even later bloomers and extend it to September or October. So highly, highly, highly recommend reaching out to a tax professional that can help you decide, okay, what's my next step? Because it's scary. I get it's scary. I can't imagine how you feel when you don't know what's going on. So getting some clarity is so, so important. And please don't go Google searching. you're going to get 10,000 different answers, and 90% of them are not going to be correct. Please talk to a professional
Yes.
that knows what they're doing, because you don't want to mess with the IRS.
Are you saying TikTok is not where we should probably go to have these conversations?
No.
Everyone's on TikTok, Amanda. That's not
I
the
don't
source.
care. I don't
All right.
care. I mean,
So we
I'll
should
probably end up
actually call
being on
you.
there too, but I mean, don't even take my word for it. Do your research, do the study. Like I said, irs.gov, 6 simple letters with a dot in between. You can get a lot of great information there. And then if you don't understand it, ask your CPA about it. Just like we recommend people to be informed on their investments, you should also be informed on how you're making money and what's going to be most advantageous for you, especially if you're working on your own. Because there's a lot of great tax advantages you can take advantage of at the same time.
Follow-up question, and I'm so sorry for captivating time. This is an important question because it's the end of the year. People are thinking about, okay, what do I have to do to prepare for taxes?
Yeah.
Oh, we have a 5-minute warning. Okay, I got to talk fast. Here we go. So, Amanda, what if I don't have a CPA? What if I don't have any of those kind of things? Could someone actually just reach out to you and say, hey, I listened to the podcast. I'm kind of nervous. I don't know. Can we have a conversation, and maybe you can point me maybe to the next steps, or maybe I can work with you to get things in order and get it ready so that when I do talk to the CPA, I'm in a much better place and it doesn't take quite as long and I can get my stuff together. Is that even an option?
100%. That's actually one of my favorite things to do, is help people organize their finances, learn more about the tax advantages they can take care of. And so that way you're prepared and you're bringing your CPA fantastic data, or how to find a good CPA, how to do, what's a good fair price, all these things, all these questions that you have. These are questions I can help answer for you, and, be sort of that guiding light to make sure that, yes, this is the right direction. You're doing great. Keep going. And, that's the whole reason I became a financial coach instead of a CPA, because I wanted to be that guiding hand. So that way, when they turn to that CPA, they know what they actually kind of understand what the CPA is saying, and they kind of speak their language a little bit. And so they can make better questions. They can have better questions so they can take better advantage of their financial situation. It could end up saving them thousands of dollars. And that just brings me so much joy. So please, please, please reach out. I would love to have a conversation. The first conversation is free. Let's do it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Amanda, and thank you, listeners, for joining us today. We are Cross Shield Financial, and if you would like to have a free 15-minute consultation, please feel free to click the link below to meet with either Amanda or Rudy to get started on your financial journey. If you like today's podcast, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe and follow, and check out our bio for links to all of our socials to stay tuned into what's next with the Wealth Blend, which uploads every Friday at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, as well as our other podcast, Too Many S's, which is going on hiatus right now. So if you catch up on that, you can catch up and find more episodes after we're off of hiatus. And then you can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, iHeartRadio, Deezer, and of course, YouTube. Thank you all so much for joining us today. Hope you have an amazing day. You get some coffee or tea, and happy savings. Bye.
Bye.